Hi guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today we have the Google Pixel 3a and the 3a XL. I did an unboxing video on both of them yesterday, but today is the early full review. Two brand new Pixel devices from Google, a few tweaks from the 3 and 3XL from last year, and certain things very much the same, but for a big knockdown price. So the question a lot of you guys were asking me was, hey, because they're a lot cheaper, do they suck? So that's exactly what we're going to discuss today. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Right, so like I said, I did an unboxing video yesterday on these two devices. So if you want a closer look at the design and hardware and specs, etc., then head over to that video after this, because today we're going to be focusing on more how I've been getting on with it and an overall first impressions review. Now, in terms of feeling the hand, I haven't really noticed a difference really between the 3 and 3XL compared to these two. As an example, taking color aside, if I held those two in front of you, would you know which one was budget and which one was premium? I don't think so. So they have done a really good job with the polycarbonate to make it not feel a lot cheaper. Now obviously we of course have stock Android on here, and while I do love stock Android, there are certain things that I think Google still need to address. There are a few glitches here and there with the software, which is surprising considering the hardware and software is kind of made by Google. I still don't personally like the way they've done gestures. The fact that you have to swipe up twice or kind of swipe and hold at the same time in order to get to your app drawer, I think is a bit clunky. Also having the designated back button still on there, I find a bit odd. I know some of you guys really still like that, and again, surprisingly, other companies who have put a skin over the top of Android 9 have, in my opinion, done it a little bit better. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, both batteries have been improved slightly on the Pixel 3a and quite significantly on the 3a XL. 3,700 from 3,430, 3,000 up from 2,915. Yes, both have got an upgraded battery in terms of size, but of course these two are running with a different SoC from the 3 and the 3XL. These are the Qualcomm Snapdragon 670 from the Snapdragon 845, and both chipsets have slightly different battery optimization. As a result, I really need to test them in more detail to give you an accurate battery review, but certainly having a larger cell in these two from the other two is a welcome addition. Now, as I stated in the previous video, it does of course come with the exact same camera as on the 3 and 3XL from last year, which is still currently one of the best smartphone cameras around. This is proven in my camera comparison video where I compared it with the iPhone XS Max, the Huawei P30 Pro, the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, the Xiaomi Mi 9 and the OnePlus 6T as well. And while certain elements of camera performance on smartphones is subjective, subjectively, I would say most of them did specific things really well, but this Pixel camera's color science, portrait mode, selfies, etc. is still right at the top of its game. And yes, you could buy another mid-range smartphone which might have better specs, and potentially with some of those you can add the Google Camera APK to have pretty much the same camera on them devices, but I have found those APKs to be very glitchy compared to having it standard on Google devices. And of course, because they have the same camera as the 3 and the 3XL, you get all of the same features. We're talking night sight, which outside of the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, P30 Pro, is still pretty industry leading in terms of low light photography. Some of the stuff you can do with night sight is mind-blowing. You've also of course got Top Shot, which means the phone actually takes a few different frames when you press the shutter, and if it thinks the kind of original shot isn't quite as good as some of the others, it will suggest other ones. If someone's blinking, hair in the face, dog in the face, whatever. Dog in the face! My Google Pixel 3 camera app has been plagued a little bit, certainly recently, with weird glitches, freezes. Some people have said they've actually had worse than what I've had, but certainly when I take a photo, it takes quite a long time to actually appear in Google Photos in the gallery. It seems to be processing for quite a long time in the background. Sometimes I have to close down the app and open it a couple of times. Sometimes if I wait for 15, 20 seconds, it kind of then shows. Feels a bit half-baked considering it's all made by Google. While I haven't yet noticed it with these two, it's something that may creep in because I didn't notice it with the 3XL originally. This has been in the last couple of months. In both of them, we have the Snapdragon 670, and this is a very good mid-range SoC that was released in mid-2018. I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't go with perhaps the 730, which is an 8nm chip compared to this, which is a 10nm chip, but at the same time, if taking photos, internet browsing, social media, light gaming, all of that sort of stuff is your cup of tea, then it is going to perform brilliantly. 4GB of RAM in both. Again, we're in an age now where we see lots of phones with 6, 8, 10, 12 even. Overkill for sure, but certainly people have noticed the difference between 4GB on the Pixel 3 and 3 XL and some of the other flagships from last year which use 6 and 8 for example. Certain times apps crashing, having to reload, etc. The jury's still out and people will have their own opinions. It's not the end of the world, but again it could be better. Also, both of these only come with 64GB of storage. You can't get higher internal storage and there is no micro SD card slot. No wireless charging on these. They're not water resistant, there's no IP rating, but they do both come with stereo speakers, and the sound, while not mind-blowing, is pretty good. This is it. Features like Squeeze for Assistant is also present on here, and we have a headphone jack on both, and that will please a lot of people, which is something that we don't see on the 3 and 3 XL. Now, in terms of the Full HD OLED displays, they do look very, very nice considering the price. My one sort of gripe on them is probably the brightness. Inside, absolutely fine, but when you go outside, I don't think it really performs as well as some of the top flagships. Don't quote me on that because I don't know the exact nits, but it's just a feeling I'm getting. It just feels a little bit dull at times. And of course, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, the price for these two, the 3A starts from $399, and the 3A XL starts from $469. Very competitive, especially when it comes from a brand like Google. Another little bonus is you get 3 months free YouTube Music. Who's gonna complain at a freebie? So for my overall first impressions review, do I think that the 3A and 3A XL suck? In terms of design and build quality, very similar from the back from last year's more expensive models. Of course, it is made of polycarbonate and not metal and glass. From the front, it's certainly nothing to shout home about. It is a bit of a boring design. I suppose they couldn't make the design on the front better than the 3 and 3 XL, considering they are far cheaper. They're gonna wait for the Pixel 4, etc. for that change of design, and I'm very excited for that, by the way. That phone could be incredible. No wireless charging, no IP rating, but it does have stereo speakers, it does have a headphone jack. You also get always on display with a double tap to wake, and of course it has that brilliant Google camera. On top of that, of course, being Google, you get stock Android, the kind of base and how Android should be, even though there has been a few glitches here and there on the 3 and 3 XL, which I hope that Google will still continue to rectify. If they do that, then this is a real mid-range contender. Obviously, there is stiff competition from the likes of Honor, Xiaomi, OnePlus even, but at this price range, with the 3A and 3A XL, they're in with a shout. To cut a long story short, is it something I'm really excited about? No, but at this price range, it certainly doesn't suck, and it gives you a really great option because it has some really cool features that we know and love from Google. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the 3A and 3A XL, and also let me know anything you want to see me do in terms of video content with these. Like and share if you did enjoy this video and found it helpful. Subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video on anything tech, pretty much daily content here on YouTube. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. Say ASBYT, peace out.